Yo, hello, hello. This is basically like my second video on this, my personal experience with placebo, and I just want to talk about. Thank you so much for everyone that replied. Thank you so much for everyone that interacted. It means a lot. I read most, if not all, of the comments, and while there were a few people that graduated from Dickhead University, everyone else meant very good intentions, and I appreciate it so much. And it helped me build. I decided to try and take a step back from the game for just a moment, just a moment. And I came back tonight, basically like a few hours ago, and honestly, the this just talking about this just helped. It helped clear my mind a lot, and so now I'll dive into the details a little bit more. But basically, I don't know when it was, but I basically lost sight of what I wanted to do at some point, or or I feel like I feel like I lost the fun in the game because for me, my main issue was I was trying to look for these results. I was focused more on what I could do and like what I could set, rather than playing the game to just get better, or just playing the game to play the game. And you know and I talked with this one person in DMs, named Tangy, and they provided insight as to what I was experiencing, and they basically they basically said that it was this thing called settings OCD, where you would just hyper fixate on thinking that changing your settings will always impact your gameplay, or that it will give you like a short-term boost in your skill to be able to set something and then go back down, and as well as thinking that you could keep playing consistently at your peak, basically. And I didn't realize it at first, but I've fallen into that trap. I wanted to be like the Emmerich of Mouse. Like everyone has those dreams, and and I just wanted to compete at a level that no one could reach me, basically, which is something that I'm sure that everyone aspires to be at some point. But I feel like I've been very humbled. you know, there's a lot of people giving advice, and honestly, I really appreciate it. You know, it doesn't matter if you're six digit or not. It doesn't matter if you stop playing the game or not. But just giving a second perspective on what it seems like impossible to escape from. It it wasn't just me that was experiencing it, is the main thing. And I think that's the most important thing about coming out with this video, is the fact that it's the fact that I thought I was alone in this battle. I thought I was the only one that experienced this placebo, and when I looked at all the comments, it was crazy. So many people have this issue, but I bet none of them. I really do think that none of them talked about it, or a lot of them felt too scared to voice it because they felt like maybe they were the only one too. And so coming out with this video, for me for me it helped me reach this sense of clarity in my mind, and it also helped me it helped me break this mental barrier that I've had for a long time, that I would never be the person that I was in the past. And the best way to verbalize it is that I just ended up looking forward a little bit more. I think that's the best way to put it into words. I just ended up looking forward a bit more. Instead of dwelling on the past, on the person that I used to be, I decided to just focus forward, and put put more effort into what I'm doing in the moment rather than seeing what I was before. And I think that was really eye-opening for me. And obviously my situation will be different from the everyone's situation will be different, whether or not it was like issues with their tapping or issues with their tablet. We all have this collective issue of placebo, and I think that's the general idea that we should talk about, or that should be voiced anyway, I should say. But for the most part, I think that's really it. I can't really think of much else to say other than I'm doing better now. You know, I hopped on the game. I Even though the thing is I didn't set any personal bests or anything. I didn't do anything like super crazy. I didn't set anything super special, but for me, this session just felt eye-opening, you know? Instead of feeling so frustrated all the time with myself, I felt at ease, you know? Whenever I missed, it was more of an idea of, oh yeah, like I missed. It's okay. That can always be fixed. The next play after, the play after that, or even the play after that. And I've built this like positive reinforcement now, where it's more about looking towards the future of what I'm capable of, rather than looking in the past of, oh yeah, wait, I've already gotten this score before. How do I reach that again? Instead of thinking about it like you have to reach this barrier, I mainly just thought about it as in an ever increasing elevator almost, you know, like I'll just keep going up and up and up and up. And I think that's the best way to explain the sort of the mental shift that I've had. And because of that mental shift, I also just ended up focusing more on playing the game in general than I did before. Because I think the way I played today, I had this thought of I'm just playing to the best of my ability, and whatever happens happens. Then before, where I was like, in my head, I was always so anxious of missing all the time, you know. I was more focused on missing than actually playing the game. In a sense, yes, that's basically how I thought. And you know, that kind of thinking is so toxic, because you're not focused on what you're doing in the moment, but you're just focused on making a mistake more than being right on everything, kind of. It's like you're focused on the fact that you have a chance of failing, rather than focused that you gotta lock in to succeed, kind of deal. I'm sure there's a better way to say it, but you get the point, I think. But yeah, I just wanted to document this. I just wanted to document kind of this mental shift that I've had, and how I kind of want the video to be. I want these next few videos coming up to be this sort of thing that people can watch and be like, oh yeah, Decaden, like he was struggling with this issue for a long time, and he had this shift in mentality, you know. He figured out his own problems, and he eventually, you know, rose back up again. And so I want people to take away from this that it never matters how far you fall down, you know. I've fallen down quite far. Yeah, I mean, you see those Devoken Elo gains, bro? Shit. I've fallen down from like 1400 to like 1100 at some point. And that's a fuck ton, no lie, but you know, now like I'm back at like 1350 or something. So it's never it's never too late to change, basically. You know, you're never going to be stuck in this rut forever. As long as you make an effort to, I feel like the first thing that you have to do is you got to speak about your problems first, you know. I I've dwelled on this problem for way too long than I should have, and that's because I've it's always scary, you know. Um when you have internal problems like these, you don't want to say it because either you feel weak, or not feel weak, but you don't want to be perceived as weak, you know. You want to be perceived as like someone who's very resilient, you know. And for me, I was that kind of person back in 22, that I was, you know, the very happy, the very mental guy, you know. I was always super happy, and people there's a comment saying that I'm like a teddy bear or something, or like a golden retriever. And it's hard to speak up about that stuff because you have this image that you don't want to break, but for me it got too much, and so that's why I ended up making this video. But yeah, you know, speak up on your problems, whether it's to friends or whether it's like me and just straightforward to the public, for the entirety of YouTube to see. But yeah, like this really opened my eyes, you know. Just it this this lump had been growing on me for years now, ever since I got my new PC, and it just I felt such a relief as soon after I spoke about it, you know. I was still sad. I was still sad when I woke up, you know. I mean, as anyone would after a pretty bad crash out. I'm so serious. When I recorded this video, literally like maybe not even 30 minutes before, I dead ass like I hopped off the game, bro. I got so fucking mad, so angry, just so frustrated, you know. So frustrated with myself because I didn't want to be this person that would just be so focused on settings all the time. I wanted to be a person that played the game, you know, that actively strove to improve. But yeah, instead I was just so focused on optimizing the game that I was so focused on optimizing the game, I forgot about actually improving myself. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah. And so I think all in all, this is only day one, so I can't say for sure how my mental will shift as we go along. But right now, so I asked a few friends around, see what they like. So I'm never touching this anymore. Fuck this, you know. Just get that shit out. Obviously, there's some games where that, like, those property settings are good for, like CS:GO, but they're like specific cases for like stretched resolution, which I don't. But yeah, I don't even play OSU on stretch though, so it shouldn't matter at all, honestly. And then also I stuck with this. I just asked one of my friends, you know, hey, do you use raw input, right? And then just keeping this off for now, since it's like it talks about tablets in the description, so it's like you might as well just keep it off, you know. That's like a tablet setting. So yeah, I hope to stick with that for as long as I can. I want this. Ever since I posted this video, it's been like a turning point for me. You know, I always thought that it was impossible to break out of this mindset, but clearly it's been much more of a positive effect on me than I thought it'd be. And so I'm so forever thankful for everyone. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's all I had to talk about. Thanks. Bye.